What's up, guys, and welcome back to Splattercat's Indie Shorts. Today we're going to be taking a look at Battlepaths, an action RPG hack-and-slash game that's being put out by Key 17 Games. It's also available for the Xbox, so this is one of those opportunities where it was released for both the PC and the Xbox. You can choose the platform on which to buy it. Personally, I would go with the Xbox, just the way that the controls work. But let's get right to it. So, this isn't going to be so much of a review as it's going to be a first look at the gameplay, so you can figure out if it's something you're interested in. I don't feel confident about my ability to judge the game at this point. I've got like 3 or 4 hours played, but I like to be honest. I like to be transparent with you guys, and I don't want to act like a high and mighty reviewer when I haven't actually put in the amount of time it takes to properly review a game. That out of the way, I do want to bring you guys along for my first little grouping of adventures. I've played about the first chapter, but I'm going to make a new character, and when you make a new character, you get to choose between the attribute you want to favor. I'm going to go with agility because hitting mobs in this game is actually pretty difficult until you get a little bit further, and agility makes that a little easier, and it affects the ability you get. I'm going to go in the second spot, and we're going to go to Babatula. There we go. And it's going to briefly show you the controls. Now, this game has an interesting art style. You play as a guy named Rick, who is apparently in a world full of stoners and is himself stoned. And so let's walk around. We use the WASD keys to navigate, and other than that, it's pretty much a keyboard game. You don't use the mouse a whole lot. So let's talk to this buxom lady. Who are you? Well, I guess she doesn't have anything for us. This guy over, this squat individual right here appears to be the blacksmith, if I remember correctly. So let's go down this way. Haha! The glowing golden exclamation point. That's gotta be a quest. And he says, "Thank God you look like you can help us. We have a lot of trouble these days. Goblins are a real plague. They keep on raiding our villages and killing innocent people. Even worse, the green orcs claim our territory. The land is being conquered by red orcs, and now they seem to be looking for new land for their kingdom far away from their deadly enemy. They're running away from their responsibilities and taking our stuff in the process. It's disgusting. We can barely hold our position here. Babatula is too far away from the Empire." That is a fun word to say. Babatula, Babatula, Babatula. That is a word that I really like to say. I'm going to name my next dog Babatula. Anyways, reinforcements are on the way, but I fear that we will be overrun before their arrival. Unless we can substantially... Okay, so let's get to the point here, pal. I don't need your whole life story. And he says that he wants us to do something and don't release the giant spider and kill all the orcs. Alright, that's fine. Seems like a standard fantasy quest, and this guy looks incredibly domed. Let's see what he needs. And he wants us to go and fight orcs and goblins outside of the city, from what I can tell. Yep, can you take care of them? Alright, let's do it. First and foremost, I'm going to hit the I key and assume that opens up my inventory. It looks like we've got ourselves a shiv, and, you know, sometimes you just got to shiv a bitch. So let's go ahead and equip that, and then we will hit the I key again. Hey, it closed. Fantastic. And now I don't really know if I'm supposed to go get any other stuff, but the game is based on a grid. You can tell by the movement. This is me just tapping right here. I'm tapping left and right. You move one square, so it functions much in the same way that Dungeons of Dreadmore does, except I feel like the game is a bit more action-oriented. You do a lot more fighting, and we've killed our first goblin, and it seems a little strange. I feel like these goblins are rushing me in their boxers right now. If this was the first time I had been rushed by somebody with a club in their boxers, I'd be surprised, but we're ready to deal with it. It just picked up the gold automatically when I walked by there. On the right, we've got our HUD with a number of things we want to keep track of. God, flashbacks to my family reunion, people attacking me with clubs in their boxers. But anyways, we're missing too much. There we go. Gotta get the smoke out of his eyes. He looks way too just mellow about this whole situation. If things were trying to beat me over the head, I'd be very, very scared. But he's cool. He's cool with it. That's how you know he's gonna be a hero, and I never will be. Now, we've opened a chest. It looks like we've got short swords and knives. I'm gonna equip the short sword. I bet it's level 3. We've been denied. We have been short sword blocked. And so let's head to the east here, and let's talk about the HUD. So on the right, you've got the level up meter, which is clearly going to be how long it's going to take for me to level up. We're getting hit with a slingshot right now. I don't approve of that. And so I'm going to move in a different direction here, so hopefully we can LOS the guy who's shooting at me. There we go, and then we'll bum rush him in just a second, but not in the way one might think. And I'm going to get rid of him first since, oh, we're low on health. And so let's hit our inventory key, and I think I saw some potions in here. Yep. And so let's go ahead and I don't think he used the potion. Maybe that's the wrong key. Let's see here. There we go. We drank the potion. And so hopefully that'll... Oh, it's a healing over time potion. All right. Well, that's a little less than stellar. That's not what I was hoping for, but it'll do. It'll do, pig. And so we killed them off. We can hold down the Alt key as we can in so many other action RPGs. Oh, there we go. I actually dropped my potion. Never mind. I'm an idiot. And so let's go ahead and we'll pick that up and keep on a wandering. Now, It doesn't show your gear in this game, as it does in many other action RPGs, but it's a simplistic game. It's $1.99 on Desura, and I'm assuming that the pricing is going to be very similar on Xbox Live. We completed a quest! Hooray! And we beat that guy up and took his shoes. Now, that's how you know we're out in the Goblin Hood right now. We just beat somebody up and took their shoes. That is some gangster stuff right there. We're going to equip the shoes. And then we've got another healing potion. I don't know if I should drink it or not. We're not at level 3 just yet. What is that? A tiny firebomb. We brought grenades into this. We have chosen to escalate in the most serious form with thrown explosives. A man after my own heart. Rick, you are ready for combat. And we're being chased by a little angry-looking spider. He looks as though we just handed him an electric bill or something. He looks less than happy about this whole situation. We'll beat him to death, take his gold, take his lunch money. That was his spider lunch money. Unfortunately, we're probably going to get angry letters about this, but what is that, an obelisk? I bet that's going to be similar to a buff totem. Yep, it gave us an accuracy buff. Now, I don't know if I'm cool enough to go into the cave, and that skull is looking at me in a rather strange fashion. I don't like it when skulls eyeball me like that. I wish his eyes would hurry up and rot out so he couldn't do that anymore. It's disconcerting, and we've got another little slingshot guy here. He's a little wannabe Link. He's just firing at us with his Deku nuts. You never want somebody's Deku nuts headed towards your face. But anyways, let's kill off the rest of these goblins. We completed a quest, so I'll probably go check back in at town and see what that netted us. It probably did something for us. We may get some gold or we may get some goodies. Oh, and they were just closing in on us, and that is not good at all. And so I suppose we will try and be less surrounded than we are right now. God, we are just boxed in, literally. We are literally boxed in, well, kind of diamonded in. Let's go ahead and open our inventory, and I'm going to potion early rather than late. And so there we go. Hopefully we'll get some health back, but that does keep the guy at the diagonal from attacking us. We can't swing to our diagonals. Our sword skill has increased, so apparently our abilities level up as we attack with them, so that's going to help us out in the future. I had no idea. I should probably take a look at my stats and see what is increasing. We'll kill off this guy right here. I can hold down the direction. It'll go a little bit quicker. Up at the top right of the screen, you'll see the current time units and the movement costs and things of that nature. I haven't really deciphered anything from that except for my chance to hit. And so that's mostly what I try and glean from all that. Over on the right, you'll see that we've got health, level up meter, our special charge, which I don't remember how to pop off with our special charge. I have no idea. Let's see here. And they're giving us tutorials, so I'll keep an eye out for the useful one. We can press tab to switch between views in our inventory. Cool. And then we can show a realm map, and that looks to be all the help they're going to give me for now. So let's go ahead and ruffle through that guy's chest. Not his chest, but his treasure chest, because his goodies are now our goodies, and we will spend them on all manner of intoxicating substances. That guy has a star next to him, which either means he has totally done well lately in class, or he is actually a lot beefier than his friends. We'll hope for the latter we'll hope for the former, actually. I don't really care how well he did in Goblin Kindergarten. I'm kind of hoping that he's terrible at fighting, and that seems to have been the case. So we will just pipeline them through the trees here, because they can't get through. They're not smart enough to turn sideways and go straight on through to get at us in a fair, well, a less than fair manner, a kind of a bum rush gang attack. But let's see here, more treasure, a Tonto, and what is this? That thing stopped glowing when I touched it, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We got what looks like a movement buff, although we're not moving any faster. I'm assuming, yeah, it's gonna let me get like 8 attacks to his every one. Awesome, and we leveled up. And so Battle Pass is turn-based. Oh, okay. And so we get to choose a special ability. I'm gonna go with, oh, I don't know. Let's do... Honestly, I'm going to do regeneration. That seems like the kind of thing that's going to be helpful in the future. And it says tab to show a special selection. Oh, and then we just click the one we want. Okay, that's cool. We got like a radio menu. That's nice. I like that feature. That works out. And we're just going to beat that guy down in just a crazy berserker rage. Ooh, a bandana. Maybe if it's the right color, we can avoid our warfare with the orcs. Let's head back to town and see what the quest has for us. And I'm liking the vibe of this game so far. It's like a little bit more eventful Dungeons of Dreadmore. So Dungeons of Dreadmore is pretty combat-based by comparison to this game, but this one takes it one step further. It eliminates all the roguelike elements, and I feel like it actually just turns the whole thing into a battle simulator. I don't really know how many abilities we're going to get in the long run, but let's talk to this guy. Nice to hear that. It seems you can really help us with our bad situation here. And it looks like there's more goblin camps, so he didn't give us anything. He actually just sent us out on another quest. How's that? We got rewarded with another quest. Terrible. These people are awful. Cheap bastards. But anyways, let's go to our inventory and see what we can equip here. We've got a hand axe. We've got a Tonto. I'm going to equip that because it seems pretty badass. We got a bandana with a skull on it. I'm going to equip that too, because maybe we'll terrify our enemies into submission. everything else doesn't appear to be usable at this given point, so I suppose we will just bail out. It says we can sell. I think that's probably because we're standing next to the shopkeeper right now, and let's see. No, it's equipping me. Let's see if we can figure out how this is going to work. And so if we hit the Y key there, that's not going to let me do it. Oh, the Y key, it's literally the Y key, and so there is some translation lost in between this and the Xbox. I kind of wish that would be retooled a tad, but maybe that's just me being finicky. I think you can play this game with an Xbox controller. I don't have one that works with the PC, so I haven't tried it out yet. You'll have to experiment if you check the game out for $1.99. But let's head back out and see what adventures we can get into. I'm going to check out this cave down here before we go much further, because I want to get some serious adventuring done before we get done with this episode. So let's head north through this path, through the terrifying little skull things, and the bat cave. Not the bat cave that I would hope to be in, though. And did he just spit at me? That is offensive, bat. That is incredibly offensive. Bats have terrible manners. That's one thing that we've learned from this episode. Bats have god-awful manners, and I'm assuming that one's going to keep... Oh, he's shooting little lasery things at me. Okay, bats with lasers. If the situation could not get worse, what is that? An augmenting stone. So the game does have socketing, it appears, and I actually vaguely remember socketing my gear. And we are just getting blasted right now. Let's go ahead and select our special. Regeneration. Regeneration. I love that. That's amazing. It reminds me of a lot of those old freeware games back in the day where people would just grab like a microphone and just apply an effect to it. And he's down, dropped us a little bit of gold, took his bat lunch money, so there's not going to be any maggots or fruit or whatever the hell it is that bats eat. An enhanced short sword. That's a short sword that found itself on Viagra. Let's see, improved quality. Oh, it just looks like the damage is higher. We still can't use it till level 3, though, so let's accept our lot and continue forward. And did we get him? We got him! Good. And we are accumulating XP here. I hope we level a little bit faster, though. I don't really know how that whole thing's going to work to our favor. I should probably check my character screen or something at this point. Let's go here. It looks like we don't get to augment our stats at all. I don't see any other menus or anything, so that's going to be fine. And that stone glowed, but it did not glitter with gold or anything else that's useful. Check down this way, try and LOS that Battlepaths. Now, they can fire to the diagonals, and that kind of swaps things out a little bit. Makes things a little bit more dangerous. We could use a tad more defense, too. They're hitting me really hard. Maybe I wasn't supposed to come down here just yet. As I recall, dying is not a big deal, though. It just costs you some money or something of that nature. I'm going to go to my inventory, and we'll drink a health potion real fast, which is going to stack with our regenerate. Ooh, a poisonous short sword of willpower. So we've got augmented colorful weapons using the schemes from previous games that came before it. I love it when games actually don't try and like buck the trend. I hate it when games have weird hack and slash action RPG gear colorations, like what would be blue in Diablo is actually like green, and so you're all confused thinking it's a set item. You gotta stick with the standard fare. You can't fight it. Our piercing skill has been increased. That's good to know. Good to know. Fighting with spiders, the common enemy of heroes everywhere, and we've leveled up again. And we get to choose an attribute. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna go with... I think I'm going to go with dexterity. Let's go with dexterity because it lets us hit a little easier. And it also increases our attack power, so I'm assuming that's going to make us do at least a little more damage. And so it looks like we're two-shotting them now, which works out. A wormhole potion is basically a teleport scroll, just so you know what that is and why I'm not using them. And another knife. Is that a good knife? No. It's a subpar knife. And we've got another guy with a star down here and some slightly larger spiders. I'm going to avoid them for the moment. Let's see if we can get ourselves a little more XP, kind of cut our teeth on a better enemy. And actually, we can equip this poisonous short sword of willpower. Although it does less damage, it gives us willpower and also a chance to poison. So we'll go with that. And it costed us a turn to equip that, which is something to bear in mind. And we're now one-shotting spiders. It's a bad day to be a spider up in here. And so we can loot items, however, without actually incurring the wrath of the game. Let me see, is that recharged? Oh, and we died. Okay, so let's respawn, and it's just going to bring us back to the beginning. It looks like that was a big bad spider that was not happy. We lost XP and we lost some gold, though, so that's a little unfortunate. We have keys, and the keys are used for big chests that are all around. We haven't found one just yet, and hopefully we will before this whole thing wraps up. There's no hardcore mode or anything from what I've noticed. The game is purely just for simplistic fun. It's definitely got its charms, though. I like that they did a hand-drawn art style. That's something that I definitely feel plays to its favor. If they had just gone with generic kind of 3D rendering and texturing, I think I would have been largely against it. Let me get regeneration going here before we even start this combat. He hit me twice for my one. That is unfortunate. Well, maybe we'll actually get some damage off, though, and he is missing a reasonable amount. We may survive. We might. Let's drink a potion just to make sure. And there we go. And so we've got a potion and regeneration going for us. He's blinking! If I know anything from Nintendo, it's that he's blinking and he's going to die soon. And he's dropped a poisonous spiked will club of power. Now I believe that's not going to be usable by us until level 4 possibly. Okay, but it does a lot more damage than what we had before. And so I feel as though the graphic style complements the game a lot. It's unique, it stands out, it's something that you're going to remember. Ooh, there's one of the chests that required a key right there. And so as you can tell, the gear is much better out of it. The sound effects are bare minimum, from what I can tell. They don't seem to have a developed soundtrack or anything of that nature, but frankly, it doesn't really need it. A lot of the time I find myself turning that off anyways and just turning on my Pandora, so no harm, no foul there. I'd definitely say for $1.99, the pricing is current with what I would expect from a game like this. It's not one of those games that I shelled out $14.99 for, and so I feel like it fulfills that cost. It feels like an iPhone game, basically, and for $1.99, that's what I've spent on iPhone games before. It's enough to keep me entertained, and I have put 4 or 5 hours into it. I just haven't had time for it in my queue yet to actually mash my way through. I know that as you get further along into the game, your armor does upgrade, like your character himself. The aesthetic of your character changes. He actually gets beefier. He becomes cooler looking. He gets more awesome armor as you cut your way through the enemy forces. And I think we're about done with this bat cave, so we'll head back outside. And so we can't swim. So from that, I can only assume that maybe someday we do get to swim, and that glowy stone gave me some gold. Thank you, glowy stone. Your contribution to my adventures is appreciated. Are appreciated anyways. And so let's get the hell on out of here. And for $1.99, I really do feel like the game is worth checking out. If you've mashed your way through Titan Quest, Dungeons of Dreadmore, all of those games, and you're just looking for a simple cleave through the enemy type gameplay that you might find on older PC games with a nice little graphical aesthetic. It looks like it was made in Flash or drawn by hand. It's pretty, it's cartoony, it's a lot of fun. I think that for $1.99, it more than justifies what you will get out of it. I've played for 5-6 hours, haven't hit the end yet, barely touched the end of the content, so it's going to give you a little bit of entertainment. The randomly generated gear is going to add replay value. You never know what you're going to get, and so go support the developers. It's made by Key 17 Games for both the Xbox and the PC, so if you like what you saw here, I'll put all the links down below so you can support the developers. And this has been another episode of Splattercat's Indie Shorts. The game that we've been looking at has been Battlepaths. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you decide to check it out. I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.